Sudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'd like to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Gonitai, Bal Gopal, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So today we want to look at the 9 processes of Bhakti Yoga. So yesterday we looked at karma and reincarnation and how we want to come out of this samsara, this world of birth and death. So we are stuck in it. And just like a conveyor belt in an aeroplane, in an airport, the luggage just goes round and round and round and round and round until somebody picks that bag out of that conveyor belt. It'll keep going round and round. So we have a similar issue. We are stuck in this material world going round and round and round and round. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. So we need somebody, Supreme Lord, his devotees, through this process of Bhakti Yoga to take us out of this material world. So what are these 9 processes? Very, very interesting to go through these on a regular basis so that we understand the importance of bhakti. Okay, so very quick yoga ladder. I mean, we'll go through this in a lot more detail in one of the sessions, but I thought we'd focus on Bhakti Yoga because it's such an important yoga to understand how it works. So the lowest level is just being an ordinary karmi, ordinary person, only caring about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That is no better than the animal kingdom. And we don't want to be at that level. And I think none of us are. The next level up is karma kanda, where we perform sacrifice to please the devatas and in order to get material possessions from them. Again, it's better than nothing, but it's not a good place to be because it's like a business transaction. I worship you, you give me. And they can only give items which are temporary and limited. Because that's what Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. The next stage up from the karma kanda section is karma yoga, where one renounces the fruits, the results of one's activities. So we do something, we go to work, we perform some activity, but we're not attached to the fruits of that labor. That's karma yoga. And nishkam karma yoga is a more purer form of karma yoga. Nishkam karma yoga is where that renunciation really takes place. Karma yoga can also be where one performs one's duty, again, without attachment to the fruits. The next stage up from karma yoga is Gyan Yoga, where one renounces the fruits and studies, gets Gyan, gets knowledge. Knowledge is very important, as we have discussed in the past. With knowledge, it can act as a sword to cut us from the attachments of this world. Because by knowledge, we can understand, oh, I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. And my connections in this world are temporary. They are real, but they're temporary. They won't last forever. And also, whoever is in my association is there for a purpose. There's a reason behind it. So I will not be unduly attached to those who I'm close to. It doesn't mean we don't love anybody or we don't care for anybody. We do. But we also understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is whom our relationship really lies with, eternal relationship. So that gyan is very important. The next stage up from Gyan Yoga is Dhyan Yoga or Astanga Yoga, and the process is explained by Krishna in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, how one must be very focused and really try to meditate within onto the Paramatma. And it's quite a tough process. In fact, it's a very tough process. And then we finally come to Bhakti Yoga. Now, Bhakti Yoga is loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. And Bhakti Yoga includes the benefits of all the other yogas. Just like a 50-pound note already includes a 10-pound and a 5-pound and a 20-pound note. So Bhakti Yoga is all inclusive, very, very powerful. Hence why we focus a lot on Bhakti Yoga. And through Bhakti Yoga, one can attain the spiritual world, Lord Krishna's abode, and it's the direct process which takes from us from this material life, which is entangling, to the spiritual world, which is detached from this material world. It's considered to be like the direct process. It's the elevator from the material world to the spiritual world. All right. So 9 processes of Bhakti Yoga. In the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23rd and 24th verse, Prahlad Maharaj explains this process, this 9 process of Bhakti Yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevamanam, Achanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Shakyam, Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsar Pritam, Vishnu Bhaktis, Chen Vinaval Lakshana, Kriyata Bhagavati Adha, Tanmanye Aditam Uttamam. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu. So that's 1. Remembering them. 2. Serving the Lord's lotus feet of the Lord. 3. Offering the Lord respectful worship with the 16 items of paraphernalia. 4. Offering prayers to the Lord. 5. Becoming his servant. 6. Considering the Lord one's best friend. 7. Surrendering everything onto him. 8. And the final, oh, hang on, I must have missed one. Oh yeah, hearing and chanting. That's 2 there. That's 2 from the beginning. So there's 9 in total. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So this is Prahlad Maharaj, who was a great, great devotee, great Vaishnava. And he's advising. So let's have a look at each of these processes very carefully. Hearing, Shravanam. Maharaj Parikshit perfected. So we're going to look at an example of devotees in the past who have perfected this process, one of these processes. So the first process we're looking at is hearing, Shravanam. And hearing is considered to be the most important of all the 9 processes. Prabhupada gave the example of when a burglar comes in the middle of the night to steal from us. We may not be able to see him because it's dark, but we may be able to hear him. So hearing is so important. It's considered to be a very powerful, purifying way of becoming detached from this world, hearing. Maharaj Parikshit, the last 7 days of his life, he constantly heard the Bhagavatam. He was cursed to die by a Brahmin boy because he committed some offense to the father of the Brahmin boy. And the Brahmin boy, being powerful, cursed him to die in 7 days. And Maharaj Parikshit was Raj Rishi. He could have counteracted the curse and said, no, I will not accept that curse. But he didn't. Instead, he went to the Ganga and he sat waiting for the sages to come and advise him what to do. So 7 days and 7 nights he heard the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. Who did he hear it from? Sukadeva Goswami. He spoke the Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. So Maharaj Parikshit attained perfection by hearing, and Sukadeva Goswami attained perfection by chanting, kirtanam, shravanam, kirtanam. So these are two processes. So hearing is very important, and chanting is very important. This is a wonderful painting which illustrates this incredible event that took place 5,000 years ago, over 5,000 years ago. And in this audience, there were some very exalted personalities. You can see Narad Muni here, Srila Vyasdev here. Yet a young 16-year-old boy called Sukadeva Goswami spoke. So this is it shows there are no barriers of doing bhakti. Anyone can do bhakti. It's not that I am born in a family of bhaktas and I can only do bhakti. No, bhakti is so freely available to anybody and everyone. This is one of the powerful things about bhakti. So first we heard about hearing and chanting. Now smaranam, Vishnu smaranam, remembering. Now who perfected their lives by remembering the Lord? Prahlad Maharaj. He never forgot Vishnu despite constant tortures from his father, Hiranyakashipu. Now Prahlad Maharaj was a young boy, 5-year-old boy, but he learned the art of bhakti from a very, very young age. In fact, from his womb, in his womb. When Narad Muni was speaking to his mother, Prahlad Maharaj in the womb was listening. He wasn't even born. So he always remembered Vishnu, always, whether he was happy or unhappy. And in fact, he was never unhappy. Even when he was going through the most difficult trials in his life, he never felt any difficulty because he would simply focus on the Supreme Lord. He wouldn't even ask the Lord, please protect me from this evil. He was so, such an amazing devotee. He wouldn't even ask for protection. He would just think that this is the mercy of the Lord, or his father was just playing with him. He's an innocent boy. But actually, he was perfect personality. And our acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they would remember the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj very frequently and very affectionately as well. Yes, Pravin?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and all the devotees. I just remember this when you said about Prahlad Maharaj. I heard a little story in my young age and performance of the Prahlad Maharaj. But as you were saying it, I just remember one thing, that Hiranyakashipu wanted himself to pray for, tell his name, not Narayan.
To be worshipped. He wanted to be worshipped.
He wanted to worship for,
be worshipped. Yes.
To Father. But yes. Prahlad said, no, I worship Vishnu.
Yes. Yes.
I just remember, I better share with you, but it was in very young age. And but as you repeat and repeat, it just keeps coming back, which is very nice.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
And Prahlad Maharaj used to answer his father, no, you're not God. Because Hiranyakashipu used to say, I am God. And Prahlad Maharaj would say, no, you're not God. God is Vishnu. And you get your strength from that same Vishnu. Because at one point, Hiranyakashipu couldn't kill his boy in any way he tried. And he asked the boy, where do you get your strength from? And Prahlad answered, I get my strength from the same place that you get your strength, and that's Vishnu. And then he said, where is this Vishnu of yours? Is he in this pillar?
Show me.
Yeah, show me.
Yes.
And Prahlad Maharaj said, yes, he's everywhere. Is he in this pillar? Yes, he's in the pillar. I'm going to prove you wrong. And then he went to smash the pillar with his sword. And at that time, Nrsingadev, half man, half lion, appeared.
He came out.
Yeah. And Prahlad Maharaj was amazed. And again, Prahlad Maharaj was never scared, even of Nrsingadev.
No.
Nrsingadev was very fierce, very, very, very fierce. But Prahlad Maharaj was, very chilled out. He was no problem. In fact, even the devatas were scared. Shiva and Brahma, they were present after the fight. And they were scared to approach him because Nrsinga was still very angry, even though he had killed Hiranyakashipu. So they said to Prahlad, you go, you pacify the Lord. He's very angry still. And he went. He wasn't scared at all. One of the bravest persons in history.
Yeah, it's very good. It's just and the father has tortured him a lot, like
yes,
so many ways.
Yes,
but he didn't die. He died.
He didn't die.
And Vishnu was there always to help him,
Protecting him. Yeah, that's
protecting
right.
him. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that's 3, Prahlad. And then, of course, Holi will be coming up in March. And one of the sisters of Hiranyakashipu was Holi, and Holika. And she had a boon that she could sit in fire and not be killed. So she said to the brother, make a fire and I will sit in that fire. I will invite my nephew to come, and in that way he will die when he is on my lap in that fire. But of course, the fire came and destroyed Holika. So Prahlad was again protected. And you see him here. He's just remembering God. Very cool, chilled out, even in the midst of great fire. No problem. So that's how he perfected his life. 4th is serving the Lord's lotus feet. Pada Sevanam. And the best servant serving the lotus feet, always at his lotus feet, is Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. She's always serving, engaged in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. There she is. Ever eternally present by the Lord, serving him. 5th process is the process of deity worship, Archanam. And there's a personality called Prithu Maharaj. He's described in the Srimad Bhagavad Purana. He was a great king in, I believe it was Treta Yuga. And he would use all of his possessions, his royal possessions, and offer them in pure bhakti to the Lord. He would perform very opulent deity worship, magnificent deity worship. And this is Prithu Maharaj with his wife. He was a perfect devotee who would engage in archana, worshipping the Lord, deity of the Lord. Praying, mandanam, that's the number 6. And praying, Akrur who came from Mathura to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balaram to Kams, to Mathura. So on his way, he offered prayers to Krishna while he was traveling to Vrindavan in order to see Krishna. And these prayers are regarded to be some of the topmost elevated prayers. So he perfected his life by his prayers, Vandanam. Here he is. a crew, he was on his way to Vrindavan, and he saw the footprints of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And he just came down from his chariot, and he would pay his dandavat obeisances, pranams to these lotus feet. And to approach Vrindavan, it's very important if we have the right mood. And what is that mood? To go with a heart of devotion, to go in a loving mood. I am going to where my Lord is present in Vrindavan Dham. Feeling very fortunate to be able to go to Vrindavan. We shouldn't think this is a small matter. Not everybody is able to go to Vrindavan. Even if people go to Vrindavan, they may not see the Vrindavan, because they will simply see the pigs and the dust and the concrete jungle that has now arisen there. But actually, Vrindavan is always Vrindavan. It's covered sometimes because we are foolish, so we do not understand the potency of the Supreme Lord. So he covers himself. But we should feel very fortunate to be able to go to Vrindavan. And also feeling very unqualified. I am a fool. I don't deserve to be in Vrindavan, but my Lord, you have kindly allowed me. Yes, Madhuben.
Please, if you explain little bit more about Prithu Raja,
Yes.
Little bit more, because I don't know. All I remember, but I don't remember about Prithu Raja. What type was devotee, and what he did. I can't remember.
His pastime is not very well known. It is in the Bhagavad Puran.
Yeah.
And Srimad Bhagavatam. He was
I heard name. Yeah.
Oh, you know the name. He was a king. Yeah. He was a king.
Yeah.
And his wife, of course, was the queen. And his father actually was not a very good person. His name was King Venu. And his father actually turned against the Brahmins and the Vaishnavas. So anyway, it happened that King Venu was killed, and from his body was churned this Maharaj Prithu. And he's famous for his opulent worship of the Lord. He would use everything in his kingdom to serve the Lord. That's how he attained perfection. So it's Archana.
So originally is Prithu Raja was father's reborn? His father reborn, and he became
No. He wasn't his father reborn, but from the body of the father, the Brahmins churned Prithu Maharaj. He came out of the body. Yeah, it's a very unique appearance, actually. Very unique appearance. And it's worth looking at that in the Bhagavad Puran sometime.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
No,
can I just say,
yes,
was it the Assis? Was the Assis of his father and Maharaj Prithu was born?
Not from the ashes.
No.
From the body itself. He churned
from the body.
Yeah, the Brahmins were very qualified at that time. They could churn the body, and out of the body came Maharaj Prithu. He's a very extraordinary personality. This is a long time back. Prithu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. No, thank you. So also we should thank all those who have made it possible for us to go to Vrindavan. This is important. We should be very grateful. My dear Lord, you have allowed us to come. My dear Guru Maharaj, you allowed us to come. Everybody, the rickshawala or the taxi driver who drives you there, or the train driver who takes you to Mathura station. should thank thank all these personalities for making it possible for us to go down. When we go in this mood, automatically the bhakti mood is very prevalent. We should glorify the Lord's lotus feet, meditate on his form and his pastime. Oh, Krishna, you have a dark bluish color. You wear yellow clothes. You have a peacock feather in your head. You play the flute. You're enchanting. You perform amazing Leela pastimes. You lifted Govardhan. You do so many amazing things. And I'm looking forward to hearing your pastimes in Vrindavan. And we focus on the Krishna's beauty. Beautiful. Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna actually means attractive, gorgeous. So he's very, very beautiful. So we focus on his beauty and appreciate his beauty. And we only do Krishna Katha when we are in the holy places. No gossip, no politics. And we pay our dandavats to Vrindavan and also the Lord's lotus feet. So this is a good way to actually understand how one should approach not just going to Vrindavan, but even going to the temple. Even when we go to the mandir, because Krishna is in the mandir, God is in the mandir. So the mandir is Vrindavan because God is there. Wherever God is, that is Vrindavan. It's not that we go to Vrindavan and that's the only time we do all these things. No, even here, when you're in East London, going to a mandir, all of these things we can take into account whilst we are going and remembering the Lord. Very nice. Very, in that way, we have a very sattvic mood when we go to the temple. We're not angry. We're not thinking about somebody who's hurt us. We're not going to gossip. We're not going to, feel sad for any reason, because it's the most exhilarating thing to go to the home of the Lord. Whether it's Vrindavan or whether it's the mandir or the temple, very, very exhilarating experience. And if we go with this mood, then the natural beauty of bhakti will just automatically spring in our heart. If we go with a different attitude, it will take a long time before we appreciate the Lord and his abode. So that's prayer. How are we doing time-wise? Let me just check. Okay, we can finish it off like tomorrow, but I'll just do a little bit more. Serving as a servant. Now this is the greatest servant of the Lord is Hanuman. He's a very close servant of Ram, and he would do everything Ram wanted, everything, whatever his orders were. Didn't matter how difficult the task that he was given. For example, when Lakshman was suffering in Lanka, Hanuman was requested to bring some Sanjeevani. So he went all the way to the Himalayas, and then he couldn't work out which plant to bring. Yeah. So he brought the whole mountain. This is intelligence. He's regarded as the greatest servant. He's still alive, and he was given the benediction. As long as Lord Ram's name is recited in this world, you will remain there. So he's there. He's helping his devotees. He's helping those who are devoted, especially to Ram, because he's such a Ram Bhakt. So Hanuman, there's so many. Hanuman, you could spend hours and hours talking about his glories. And Hanuman Jayanti, when it comes, we will be talking about Hanuman. But he's a perfect example of somebody who was the perfect servant of the Lord. And the beauty of God is Here in this world, if you are called a servant, it's a demeaning term. You are inferior. But in the spiritual world, the servant can be superior to the master. So that's not easy to understand. But because the servant always wants to serve Krishna, and Krishna always wants to reciprocate. If somebody serves him, he will return the service. If one takes one step towards Krishna, he'll take 10 steps towards us. But the bhakta will say, no, 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 my dear Lord, I don't want anything from you. I just want to serve you. I just want to love you. You can do whatever you want to me. I just want to serve you. And the Lord Ram will say, I want to do something for you. And the devotee will say, no, you can't serve me. I will serve you. So this competition will take place. And in that way, the Lord becomes indebted to the devotee. He said to the gopis, when they came in the middle of the night, when he was playing the flute, I have no way to repay your love for me. Be happy with your love. I have no way to repay your debt. So because he cannot repay the debt, he becomes sometimes a servant of his servant. He will do anything the bhakta wants. So in that sense, the servant can be higher than the master. Of course, we don't want to be higher than the master, but it happens that the devotee, the pure devotee, controls the Lord by his love, by her love. Radharani is actually considered to be more superior than the Supreme Lord because she controls him by her love. Although she is the greatest devotee of the Lord. So this is our situation. We want to become servants of the Lord. We don't want anything back. We just want to serve you, my Lord. Let me just serve you. And that will conquer the Lord. Of course, we don't want to conquer the Lord. We want to just love him anyway. So there you go. Hanuman, most powerful personality. Most powerful personality. And he's always at the lotus feet of Ram. He's always serving Ram with a mood of devotion. So we can stop there. There's two more: serving as a friend and complete servant of the Lord. Yes, Anita.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very nice session. I have one question in this
Sure.
9 process of bhakti. One of this is hearing, and
Yes.
there was one process. One was like praying, and the other one was worship. Out of those 9,
Yes.
what is the difference between? Means how do you define? Yes.
Very, very good
Thank
question.
you.
Very good question. Prayer, this one here, Vandanam, is basically, you are not, it's a form of worship, but you're not necessarily using the items that you have to worship the Lord. Here, deity worship, you are using all of your possessions to serve the Lord, to worship the Lord. So you're doing arti, you're doing bhog, doing so many other things, like you do actually. You're a perfect example.
Yes.
But praying is where you are just completely focused on in your mind. You're completely focused. You don't have to be in any physical condition. You can be really unhealthy in your bed, but you can pray with your heart, Vandanam, and Krishna will accept that prayer. You can perfect.
It's like connecting the soul.
Yes. On a mental
and worship is more about physical. Okay. Yeah,
it
got
can.
it.
Yes. It can be correct. I mean, they're a little bit interchangeable, but you are right. I think what you've just generally said is fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for that question. Really good question. Madhuben?
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji, I got my answer in her question. And second thing, I just wanted to say, yesterday I was actually listening in YouTube, some conversation about Hanuman and Ram. They were saying Hanuman is, 5 people, I think 5 or 6 are like Hanuman. They are never died. They are on earth still. Yeah. So they said, if you pray Ram and if you pray Hanuman, between them, you just get a result from Hanuman.
You will. He's very powerful.
So just you explain these things now later. So I just understand why they're saying that. Yeah.
Because
and Gopi's example you gave is same thing, Radha Krishna. That's why we said Krishna's name after then Radha.
That's right. It's because the bhakta, he has no interest in being worshipped. Whatever you give to Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, he will pass that on to Ram. And that is why whether one prays to Ram or Hanuman, in one sense, it's actually better to pray to Hanuman, because not as God, Hanuman as servant of God. Because Hanuman will simply say to God, say to Ram, my dear Lord, this has been recited by Madhuben, and she's a wonderful devotee of the Lord. And Ram will pay attention. Oh, Hanuman is saying that Madhuben is a nice devotee. So in that way, the worship or the prayers to Hanuman are very important. Like prayers to Radharani. Radharani, if she says, Krishna, there's a very nice devotee sitting right at the back. You can't see him. I can see him. And Krishna will look, oh, where is he? Because Radharani has pointed him out, So this is why sometimes,
that's why Prabhuji gave Ishwar gave a more important to their servant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And there's a between
it's
5
more
and 6.
like.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, Madhuben?
Sorry, just interrupting. It's
Yes.
more like the company secretary.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. He's a secretary to the president.
To go to the boss, you have an appointment from the secretary.
That's correct, because you can't approach the Lord directly sometimes. You can't go to the Prime Minister and knock on his door and he let you in. You have to go through the channels. That's very true. Very good.
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, normally number 5th worship and number 6th worship, Vandanam. So normal human being are weak, I think, in a 6 category, isn't it?
Mostly 6. Mostly 6.
Mostly we are in a 6 category. Like me, I don't know.
Yeah, mostly
myself, I said I'm 6. Yeah, I know. I'm not 5. I'm 6.
5 can be there as well. We can try to do a bit of everything as well. That we will talk about tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So we'll talk about Sakhyam tomorrow. We'll talk about complete surrender. And we'll also talk about Ambarish Maharaj, who did everything, all of the 9 processes. But more important, we'll talk about this amazing Bhakti Lata Beach, the planting of the seed of Bhakti, and how making sure we water this seed of Bhakti in such a nice way that ultimately it gives us the fruit of Prema Bhakti. And we will go through a little bit of all the different things that we have to do and also have to be careful of, so that we protect this plant of bhakti that has been planted within our hearts. Very important. So that we'll do tomorrow. Okay, so I wanted to stop there. Any more questions? Anybody else?
Yes, Prabhuji. When you send us YouTube all things, right? So, like today, you saw in the end that you saw the tree, the last now you saw the tree, right?
Yes.
Bhakti tree. But that tree, if I want to print out, sorry, this is not
I will send you. I will send you.
But yeah, but it's in slide or something. I don't know what I can print out easily. But I don't.
Yeah, you should be able to print it. I'll send it as a PDF. So
Okay,
you should
thank
be
you,
able to
thank you.
print it.
Thank you, because I'm not very clever. I just asked my
Nor am I.
granddaughter. And she said, "It's if I print from your YouTube, whatever you're
No,
sending me,
it won't come out.
there is not, you can't read, she
Can't read
said.
it. Yeah.
So ask your Guruji and he will send you the proper things.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
send the version to you. Yeah. You should be able to print it.
Okay, thanks. No rush, not rush, but I want
Yeah.
to keep some part, to read,
Yes.
because otherwise I keep forgetting. And if I
Me
read
too.
again and again, this goes in our
Yeah, mind. Yeah, that's right.
mind. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. It was nice. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank
yeah,
you so much.
thank you. You enjoying your holiday?
Well, I'm busy sort of doing the temple mandir accounts, and now I'm doing the annual report. So it's nice and hot.
Okay.
So at least I
But
just
nice weather. Having nice
yeah,
weather.
I
That's the
just sit in
main
the
thing.
sun and do everything.
Yeah.
We
Get
can
a
see
benefit.
bright blue
Yeah,
sky there.
yeah, it's really good. Okay, anybody else? Anything else? Otherwise, we can stop and we'll continue tomorrow, part 2. Okay.
Thank you.
Bhakti-Yoga ki jai.